Hello, welcome to the Azure Kubernetes Deployment series, part 4. In this series, we are going to learn how to deploy microservice applications into AKS cluster using Helm chart. In the first lab, we have already discussed how to deploy microservice application using kubectl command line tool. In the second lab, we have automate this using the Azure DevOps pipeline. In third lab, we have learned how to provision the infrastructure using Bicep using the Azure DevOps pipeline. And in this lab, we learn how to deploy the application using Helm chart. So since the infrastructure provision will take some time, let's start our provision first. So you can see here in my infrastructure folder, we have two subfolder. One is AzCLI that contains a script file. So this includes the AzCLI command line tool to provision the resources. And under Bicep, I have the Bicep modules and main Bicep file that will help in provisioning resources using Bicep. So in this lab, let's provision the resources using Bicep. So here we can see this is the command line that we can use to provision the resources. Here I have specified the path. You can see the Bicep under main Bicep. This is the template parameter. And also I have the parameters files, main Bicep param. So I can use this here. I have already logged in into the Azure. So I can directly run this one, this command here. Okay, so let it continue. Let's discuss about the Helm chart. So previously we have deployed the application using kubectl, but in this case we're going to use Helm chart. So what is Helm chart? Helm chart is a package manager. So you can see the advantage what we'll get using Helm chart is it will maintain the releases, and we can also roll back to the previous version. And one more important thing is the Helm chart we can reuse for multiple environments. So that we'll see how we can roll back the deployment into previous version. That we'll look it into today. So in order to create the Helm chart, we need to deploy the Helm tool. You can see here we can use this. We can go to this link and you can deploy and configure the Helm chart. And if you have already the manifest files ready, so so for that, if there is existing manifest file, so in order to convert it into Helm manifest, we can use another tool called Helmify. So you can see here, this is the link that we can download the software and install it. And this is another link where we can get the command how we can use to Helmify the existing manifest to Helm chart. So this Helmify only required if you have existing manifest file that we need to convert into the Helm chart. If we don't have any existing manifest file, then we can directly use Helm command to create this template. So if I can show you the link. You can see this is for the tool or the software that we can use. You can download any of the um, package here and you can install it. And here this mention what are the Helmify command to convert the manifest into the Helm chart. So I have already done this. You can see under Helm chart I have the converted um, templates. This is the manifest templates. So here this all the manifests what is there in the under the manifest file, these are all converted into this that I can show you here once this deployment is done. Or maybe let me open another command prompt here. Okay, now if I just run Helmify version minus version, Yeah, it shows the version. So the command is working here. So in order to convert it, let me just use this command. We can use this command here. Yeah. Okay, so we can use this helmify command here. So here we can mention like helmify, and we'll mention the manifest file. Our manifest files are under the manifest folder that I have mentioned, and you can mention the chart name. It will create a folder here. Okay, so since I have already helm chart is created, let me give another name, just temporary, and let me execute this. Yeah, so it is created. You can see it created here. So here if you see, everything is got created. So this all includes, if you go inside this is the helm chart. I mean the deployment file for the helm chart, and this is the service. Similarly, we will get a chart.yaml here. Okay, it will maintain the releases, and the values.yaml, if you want to provide the values, I mean the 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 image version and other information, right? We can pass through the values.yaml file. Okay, so one difference is here. What I observed is while creating this helm chart using helmify, I found that the other services, mostly the services here, if you compare our manifest order service, we have the port numbers here. Okay, but here the ports number is not available. Okay, ports numbers are not available. So I did some modification here under this. If you go to the order service, here I have modified few things, not this one. In my help chart here, you can see I've just mentioned this, just hard coded this uh, as a directly in the uh, order service. So all these things I just modified here. We are not, I mean, we are not getting it through the uh, from the values.yaml. Okay, so this now I'm just deleting it. This is not required for us. Okay, so now our helm chat is ready. We need to deploy it into the cluster. So before to that, let me check whether our resources are created or not. Uh, okay, let's go to the, yeah, it is created here. Yeah, now let's log in to this. Okay, in order to log in, we can use, let's try to connect to this cluster first. Okay, let me assign this variable. In order to connect to the cluster, we'll use this AKS get credential. Okay, just to override because it is already there. Okay, now let me create this alias. Okay, alias k equal to l. Okay, k get node. Okay, so I'm able to get the node here. So that means the deployment is done. That what we done using our Bicep file. Now we need to, so before deploying the application, I mean running the helm command, our Docker images should be available in the Azure Container Registry. So here you can see I have already mentioned the image version here, the name and the version you can see here. Okay, and similarly the storefront. Okay, so in order to, now we are going to push the images to our Azure Container Registry. For that, what we have to do is we need to log into the ACR. So for that, let me just assign this value. Okay, and let me log into this, the ACR. Okay, okay, it will take some time. Yeah, it's succeeded. Now we can see, let me just see my Docker images, because I have already built those images. to save time. Now you can see here the images I have already created and I have tagged as B1. So this is for storefront, product, and order. So these are all available. Now I just want to, so for creating this, we need to follow this command. Okay, first you have to build it as a latest tag. Then you have to tag it with the Azure Content Registry with tag B1. Then you need to push it to the Docker image, to the ACR. So let me just push it. So if you can see here in my Azure Content Registry, if you go to the repository, it is not there. Okay, once it is the command finishes, it will create that image. Okay, now if we go and refresh it, we can see the order and with tag B1. Okay, so let's repeat the same thing for product, and also we need to push this storefront as well. Okay, that is done. Let's just push it. You can see if we go back and refresh it, our product and storefront front all are created. Okay, now the Docker images are available in ACR. Now we'll try to um, deploy these images to the cluster using Helm chart from using the command line. So for that, here we can use this command helm deploy. Okay, this is nothing, the helm install, and we have to give a release name and the location where our chart is available. Okay, so if we want to execute this, now we can do this here. Okay, so this is helm install. First time if you are installing, then we have to mention install and the release name and the path. You can see here, this is my helm chart path. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, so you can see here the name of our release is online store, and it is deployed in this time, and it is deployed in the default namespace of the cluster. Status is deployed and revision is 1. Okay, now if you can see, we have okay, now if we see the helm list, for example. Okay, you can see we have one version revision deployed. Okay, now we can check whether the deployment is, I mean, all the pods are created and all the services are available or not. So for that, we can see okay, get get pod. Okay, still this order is waiting, it's not completed. It will take few time. So let's check the services. Okay, and you can see we have the online order service, production environment, store. Yeah, the external our storefront, it is has a load balancer. So this is the external IP, and we can let's check whether it is there or not. We can call this with 80. Oh, yeah, so you can see that it is deployed. Let me check again the pod. You can see here all the pods are ready and it is running. Now the application is running here, and also you can browse it using the IP here as well. Yeah, so the application is working. Now to check, I mean, how we can roll back, let's deploy another version of this application. So what we can do, to check that one, let's go to the storefront and let a small change, do a small change here. For example, I'll do it. Okay, I'll change it to welcome this one. So this is the change. So for that, to deploy it again, I have to create the Docker image for this, and need to push it as a new version to the ACR. So for that, I'll go to this. So I'll repeat this again. Okay, let me, I have saved this one, Docker image file. Yeah, Let me create it. It will take a few minutes. So what we'll do is we'll deploy with using Helm chart again with the same release name, and we'll see whether our changes are reflected or not. Again, later we'll try to revert back to the older version as well. Yeah, it's done. Now if we do Docker image, sorry, images, I have create order latest. Yeah, this is there. Now again, change it, tag it with the latest. What we have to do is it create another, let's see, is there any other order? Okay, it will take as a latest here. So let's change it to version 2. Okay, now we'll tag it with the Azure content registry with sorry. Okay, let me copy this one. Yeah, it is done. Now change this one also to 2. Now push it as a version 2 to the ACR. We can see it should push to the ACR again. We can see here. Yeah, it is created. If you can see here, version 2. Now what we have to do again, we need to do the Helm chart. Again, what we have to do, we have to run the Helm chart. And what we can do here is it is already installed, so we have to do upgrade here. Okay, so Helm upgrade this with the same Helm chart here. Okay, one more thing I need to change here, storefront deployment, and here the version should be 2. Okay, no, it is not required. This is not required because we have already pushed that. Okay, so what we have to do is here I have to come here, and I have to come here, and in the values.yaml I have, if you go to the order, not order, we have to go to the storefront, and in tag here it's mentioned, right? We have to change this one to 2, tag version 2. Okay, let's save it. So if we see what changes we have done here, index.html, and here we have changed to tag. Okay, now we have saved this one. Now let's deploy it. Yeah, it is done. Now if you go to check it, okay, get pod, you can see only the storefront. It is the existing one is terminating, and it will replace with the new pod because we have only modified the storefront application, and we created a new image, and we have pushed the ACR, the new image. And also in the values.yaml we mentioned the view2 tag, I mean a version, it will pull from the ACR. Okay, now check whether it is created or not. Yeah, it is running now. Now if we'll call it, what is the IP? Okay, this is the IP. You can see here our changes, it reflected here. Welcome control support that we modified here in our application. This one we modified. So it it got created, and we deployed a new version of our application. So this is the advantage of using Helm chart. Suppose we want to roll back to our previous version. Then in that scenario, what we have to do is we can use the rollback command. You can go to, yeah, you can see here with the revision. If we now just check Helm list again, we have we can see we have revision 2. Okay, and if we do Helm history, or Helm, okay, let's check all here. Okay, let me, yeah, the revision 1. This is the latest one, the revision 2. So let me revert back to the older version. So what we can do, Helm rollback online to revision 1. So rollback was success. Okay, now if you see get pod, it's running. But if you do the call now, you can see here it shows the older version of the application contour. So there is no welcome. Okay, so you can see everything like how we have deploy the application to cluster using Helm chart. So you can see here the advantage what we'll get using Helm chart. So the one advantage, like it will use the uses template with the variables. Okay, so the thing is, since we are using the values.yaml here, right, we can pass the values with different values for different environments. So if you have multiple environments, for example dev, test, and prod, so we can create multiple values, environment specific values.yaml file, and accordingly you can install it to the different environment using the same Helm chart. I mean, the templates will be same, but the values will be different for different environment. Okay, so these are the advantages we will get, and we can also roll back to our previous version or the revision. Yeah, yeah, that's all. And before, if you are following my lab at the end, don't forget to delete the resources. So for that, we can just simply run this command. We can use this command to clean up your resource from the Azure portal. So that's all for today. So if you have any suggestion, any comments, let us know. So in the next step, we'll learn how to automate this Helm chart deployment using Azure pipeline. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.